Welcome back. Story 1. Am I the a-hole here for telling my pregnant 19-year-old daughter she needs to move out ASAP? My daughter Rose, 19, was always a smart girl. She did well in school and got a full ride to a great school that is locally. She's been living with me and going to school and is doing well in school. She got this new boyfriend a few months ago who I don't like. I can smell the bullshit. He constantly lets her down, but covers it with a big smile and grand promises. Despite my warnings, they're still dating, and now she's pregnant. I offered to pay for the abortion and take a few days off work to take her and help her recover. She said no. She's going to marry her boyfriend and they will be one big happy family. He wants to move into my house, and she will drop out of school while he works to support them. He's a bartender who doesn't go to college. I laughed at this idea, which made her mad. She told me that since he can't move in, I'll need to step up and help with the baby more. Y'all, she has always been a very sensible child. I don't know where this all has come from. I flat out told her that if she thinks she's grown enough to have and raise a child and get married, then she needs to move out soon and manage being an adult with the child's father. I raised the one child I wanted. I do not want any more children living in my home. I told her I would pay for diapers here and there and I would still visit her, but this baby is 0% my responsibility. If she chooses adoption, which I'm pretty sure she won't, I would be willing to help her navigate that. She won't talk to me. My husband, her stepdad, is staying out of this, but thinks I could help more. I told him he's welcome to go over and babysit for her and that shut him up, lol. Am I the a-hole here? Edit. I had my daughter when I was 19. I was married to her father who was in the military. I still graduated college on time at the age of 22, and everything worked out well for us until he died in service. The fact that it worked out okay for me is clouding my daughter's judgment, I think. Her trashy boyfriend can't even offer her or her child health insurance. It's a complete different scenario. Also, so many of you are suggesting I still let her live with me and keep the baby. This is not happening. I do not want a baby in my home, period. And I'm not babysitting either. I'll do normal grandparent stuff like show up to birthday parties and buy gifts here and there, but that's it. You're not the a-hole OP. Your daughter wants to get married to her boyfriend and have her baby. That's her choice. But you're not the a-hole for telling her your house will not be available for them to move into like she thought, and that you won't be helping out with the baby either. If she wants to keep the baby, then she should be ready for the responsibility that comes with it. It's really sad that she's way too in love to see how much this decision will affect her life down the line and how bringing a child into the world with a man who has no job and nothing isn't a good idea. But she's an adult, and at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. Now for some comments. I have a friend who was in the same situation with her daughter about 16 years ago. They let her stay, but told her it was the one and only time and set all sorts of parameters. Now, 16 years later, that same daughter and her now 5 kids still live with them. They have put them out several times to try and make it on their own, but it breaks their hearts to see the kids not be clean or be fed right. The kids always beg to come back. It's an awful situation. Not the a-hole. Just tell her this was your choice, not mine. You can have an abortion. I will support that. You can leave him. I'll support that. You can move out and continue with this path you chose and I will support you. But I refuse to step up and help because you made a poor decision. It's not my responsibility to financially support you, your child, and your loser boyfriend. I also do not need to do anything in this situation, including step up and help with your baby more. I have raised you as it is my responsibility to do so, but you're grown now. Looks like it's your turn. Wow, the entitlement. All you have to say is no thank you, frankly. Not the a-hole. Listen, I've got a daughter who had a baby at 19, never finished college and doesn't know how to manage life. She didn't stay with the baby's father and has never moved out of my home. She's about to turn 30. And 4 years ago, she went and had another baby with a different guy. She didn't stay with that guy either. So now I've got all 3 of them in my house and I love them all dearly. But I'm 58 and I want peace, quiet and a clean house. My daughter is anxious and angry all the time. She has no time to create a career for herself. Her car is falling apart. And all I want is peace in my life. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for getting my son school supplies for his birthday? Today is my 30 females son Logan's 5th birthday. Seeing how his first day of kindergarten is in less than a week, I thought it was appropriate that we, me, my husband, and our respective parents, get him the stuff he would be needing for the upcoming school year. My husband and I got him the basic supplies: pencils, crayons, markers, erasers, paper, glue stick, a ruler, safety scissors, a notebook, and other items that his school recommends. My parents got him several new outfits, including a hand-knitted sweater from my mom. My in-laws got him additional outfits as well as a backpack, lunchbox, and water bottle. They also gave him $25 in cash, which he could use to buy anything he wanted, provided that we approve, of course. He also received lots of cards from other relatives, family, friends, etc. We had a nice party with a barbecue and of course a cake. Logan seemed like he was having a good time. However, after everyone left, I noticed that he looked upset. He asked why he didn't get any toys for his birthday. We sat him down and explained that turning 5 was an important age, as it's the age where kids start kindergarten, and the presents we got for him were more important than toys, as he would need them for school. We told him that he could use the $25 from Grandma and Grandpa to buy himself a toy. He asked if he could use the $25 to buy a Nintendo Switch. He has a friend around his age who has a Switch, and they sometimes play with it when Logan goes over to his friend's house. However, the Switch belongs to the friend's older brother, who doesn't always want to share it. Logan has been wanting a Switch for a while now, but we think he's a bit young for video games, and it would be too much of a distraction from school. We explained to him that a Switch would cost a lot, more than $25, but if he was good, Santa might get him one for Christmas. Logan didn't take this well and started crying. We told him that it was okay that he was disappointed, but crying wasn't going to help. He was upset for the rest of the day. He did not throw a fit, but he wouldn't talk to us either, other than saying he didn't enjoy his birthday. After we put him to bed, my husband and I talked about whether or not we should have gotten him a Switch for his birthday. Neither me nor my husband grew up playing video games. I honestly think it would be too distracting. My husband thinks that as long as we put certain rules in place, that is, he can play for 1 hour each day as long as he behaves himself at school and finishes his homework, we should get him one. However, he agrees we should wait until Christmas. I've asked various friends about it on Facebook, and they think that Logan should have gotten a Switch in addition to the school supplies. Since turning 5 is a milestone birthday, they think a Switch or similar toy would have been appropriate, as he could invite friends from school over to play. So now I'm torn. Am I the a-hole for only getting my son school supplies for his birthday? You're the a-hole, OP, for only getting your son school supplies for his birthday, but I'm glad you recognized that your son was sad during his birthday and made him open up. It is unfair that you only got your son school supplies for his birthday. Those are things that you were going to get him anyway, and they shouldn't serve as gifts. It's his birthday. He deserves gifts that he actually wants. And if he wants a Nintendo Switch, then I think he should get that. Your Facebook friends are right. Now for some comments. You're the a-hole. So just because he has a birthday right before the beginning of school, he gets only school supplies? If his birthday was in January, would you just not have bought him the supplies? Of course not. You would have bought them because they are basic needs. It's up to you whether or not to purchase a Switch. But you should have bought him something he wants for his birthday. You're the a-hole. You didn't need to get him a Switch, but providing school supplies is your responsibility as a parent, unless they were super fancy supplies, which causes problems itself. They are not a gift, they are an obligation. Wait to teach your kid that the older he gets, the worse the world is. He's a kid. If you're going to celebrate his birthday at all, he should be getting some kind of luxury. Even if it's a cheap one, just something that he would enjoy, but doesn't strictly need. You're the a-hole. He's 5. There are plenty of years for him to find out how unfair life is. Why do you want him to find out at such a young age? If his birthday was any other time of the year, you would have bought him toys. But because it's just before school starts, you chose to be cheap and buy him something as a present, which all the other kids will be getting anyway. Is this going to be a pattern for the rest of his life? Because it's a surefire way to make him hate his birthday. And probably school too, as it's the reason he doesn't get good presents. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for not letting this mom send her younger son to my son's birthday party? My son, 10, made a pretty good friend, 10, within the last school year. They are pretty inseparable and do everything together. I would arrange play dates for the mom, saying I would pick both boys up from school, and when I would get there, I would find out the mom has also made me responsible to pick up the boy's younger brother, 5, too. She says that his feelings get hurt if he also doesn't have a play date. When the little boy comes over, my son and his friend tire of him quickly. They don't want him to play with them, and while I try to encourage group play, it's just a lot for them. They want to play with different things with him. Typically, the little boy ends up following me or my older daughter around. This happened quite a few times throughout the school year. I thought it might stop in the summer, but when I went to pick up the 10-year-old, the 5-year-old was ready to go too. And how could I say no to him when he was all ready? He's just a kid and it's not his fault his mom is doing this. If I try to talk to the mom, she just says that the little brother gets insanely jealous and that he loves coming to my house. My son overall doesn't mind him coming, so long as he stays out of my hair, and I can manage it. Now, my son is having his 11th birthday party. He's having a simple birthday sleepover with a few friends, including the older brother of this 5-year-old. I talked to the mom and said that it was just for the big boys, and please don't tell the 5-year-old he could come. I would be too busy that night to play buffer. She got really offended and tried to say they were a packaged deal. I gently explained that it couldn't continue. She finally relented, but said that her son was going to be very hurt. Am I being an ass here? I feel bad, but I feel she's only setting her son up for failure here. Not sure why I said he couldn't come. My son doesn't want him there, and I just don't have to watch him. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Sounds like lazy parenting. If the little one gets jealous, she needs to explain to him that his brother gets some alone time with friends. That brothers do not always get the same thing. Sometimes he gets things his brother doesn't. Sometimes he gets things his brother doesn't. And arrange something else for him to look forward to. Also, sending a 5-year-old to a sleepover party just seems like a recipe for disaster. I'm really sorry that the kid your son became best friends with has a bad mother. This is really awkward for you and I feel bad for you. The mother needs to understand that just because the little brother isn't happy doesn't mean he gets whatever he wants. You should not let the little brother attend the party, and if things blow up and there is drama, just understand that it's the other mother's behavior destroying the kid's friendship, not yours. With this type of person, I predict she's going to try and guilt trip you when you stand up for yourself. Not the a-hole. She is using you for free daycare. It's nice that the 5-year-old likes your house. It is also not your problem. It is her job to help her son manage any feelings he has about not being included in Big Brother's friend group. Make it clear to the mom that unless specifically stated otherwise, all invitations that her older son receives from your household are for the older boy only. Be very firm about holding this boundary with her. Children are a package deal for the parents that made them, not for the families of their children's friends.